Does that give you any confidence?
No.
Okay, well, let's get into the draft then. As we have an adaptation, that might give you some more confidence. Fnatic have decided that they do also respect the Taliyah.
Kalista, nice.
Well, they also respect the Taliyah ban. I think the Taliyah ban was actually quite big. Most teams have been spam banging that against APA as well, since it is meta, and that was the adjustment that they made there. And then Betty, as you say, they're going to be the ones that grab the Lucian, and assuming the Nami this time around too.
All right, I don't want to traumatize you, Kobe, but the last time we saw Lucian
Nami?
picked first, it was
Don't even
Nami
say
response.
that. Don't even speak those words into existence.
I'm not willing it. I'm just saying it happened.
okay.
It's a matter of record.
So, Team Liquid gathered their data already.
Decided the Jhin Nami wasn't it.
Exactly.
So they've gone for the Varus. We'll see if they go for their pairing here. Obviously, Varus good with a lot of different champions. Remember that Rel, as a jungler, deleted from the game as a jungler, so is always support now.
And, you know, if you don't know, for Core JJ, this is one of his most beloved champions. He has been insane Rel throughout the lifetime of this champ as a support, so he's huge on those big wombo combo engages. Usually when Team Liquid pick the Rel, they're going to pick something else that is going to have really big AoE with it as well.
TL could just do Cassante now, by the way. Like, they don't have to lock in mids. It depends how concerned they are about APA's pool getting pinched even more.
And also,
and there you go.
Umpty popped off with Sejuani, who's like 8th or 9th down on the jungle tier list, right? It's not like the pool was really hit that hard. They took away the Bulber, they took away the Jax, he still found something.
Now you ban Camille and TF, exactly the same as before. There's no reason to change that much. You've got a very solid bot side of the map. You now just need to find something for APA. Fnatic could look to, I guess, the things you're worried about a little bit are maybe Marco Tristana, maybe your, I mean, I'm trying to think about like maybe
depending on what humanoid is going to try and pick, the Ziggs is also, you know, one of the main champions that APA has been criticized for having to rely upon.
They're really trying
they are. All three of them
APA.
in a row, banned away. Of course,
I mean,
yeah, you have your luxury of red side, as you highlighted, Kobe, so you can counter pick.
So
Tristana, the other pick that he has played here so far in MSI.
Some of the reason why I mentioned, you know, early on with the Rel, you know, the big AoE angle, is that he also has done a lot of work on Nico. Not necessarily super recently with the Nico, but that was a very big APA pick.
Wasn't that last year? Worlds even?
Yep. And it has been something that they use to combo in some of those AoE situations. That would necessitate that they got a damage jungler for Umpty though, which might be the case since Jax is not banned. And Jax is more of a jungle ban in last game because Jax with your Counter-Strike is very good versus the Xin Zhao, all auto attack base. So maybe they go, you know, something like the Jax for Umpty and then something like the Nico for Appa to be able to have the AoE and the engage. I'm liking what I'm seeing here.
I gotta say, a lot of good engage tools. Fnatic, strong champions in the mid game, especially with the Lucian Nami, but much less reliable engage options. Lilia certainly could indicate the Tristana mid, but instead getting the Lee Sin. Umpty,
how we feeling, Kobe?
He's feeling confident. I don't know how Kobe's feeling, but Umpty is clearly confident.
I really like the Jax. He got the pentakill on the Jax, but and then this also leaves open a pretty good Poppy angle there.
Poppy, okay. So again, it's another angle of, guys, Cassante's not that OP, I can handle it. And it's like, I don't know if you're the problem here, Oscar. Game one, Impact definitely got the better of Oscar, and I think that the Poppy matchup is definitely Poppy favored. With the Azir coming out from Fnatic, they have range, they have some scaling on their side, and we'll see if things change up for Fnatic, but I don't know if they have the same skirmishing power necessarily that they had in the previous game.
This is an insane Poppy angle here, so the Poppy definitely a very, very good look here for Oscar and could be a huge difference maker. I mean, with the Ahri lock-in on top of the Lee Sin as well here.
And one of the last times we saw Fnatic play against an Ahri Lee Sin in the OSC regular season, it was G2, and they picked Poppy for the jungle and shut them down entirely. Wonder if that's something Fnatic can replicate here. That's it. Poppy's locked in the top lane. Won't have as much roaming early on, and the Lee Sin Ahri is a lethal duo.
Here's what I'll say though. I think Cassante thrives in the current meta because the current 80 carry pool can't kill him. They just don't itemize in a way, or they don't really work in a way that they're designed to be effective at killing tanks. The ways in which you can deal with him is range and mobility. And I think that by introducing Azir, you have a lot more late scaling, just DPS available to you. On top of the fact that things like culling can be very effective at chipping down HP bars, I do think that Fnatic have way more tools to deal with K'Sante. And if they consider that to be the major problem, along with limiting APA's pool and forcing him onto something that he's not as comfortable on, perhaps they're now feeling more comfortable in their late game team fighting and their ability to outplay TL.
I think the biggest concern for Fnatic fans is this bottom lane. It is strong on paper, no doubt. Lucian Nami absolutely lethal in the right hands. Last game, the right hands were Yeon and CoreJJ. Can Noah and Jun replicate that? Because we know his Renata is lethal, right? That is a champion who offers the strength of a range support and offers so much utility and engage. Nami doesn't quite provide that same playmaking potential. It's much more about funneling power into Noah, who has been one of the members of Fnatic who's been struggling the most.
Meanwhile, on the side of Team Liquid, APA's Ahri has not been in the spotlight for a reason. It is not grouped in with those APA champions for a reason, and having to play that into Poppy on the other side, as well as Humanoid's Azir, might be a little bit scary. People are always focusing on this mid lane matchup here.
How can you not be inspired after watching Faker play yesterday? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I'm like, you know what? I could do that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in there. Let me fire up a rank game.
Yeah, I mean,
how much do you think Ahri's win rate drops the day after Faker plays in the Game 5?
Yeah,
tremendously. The skin sales go up. I mean, yeah, incredible performance from him. We'll see if APA can replicate what we saw from Faker yesterday. Overall, I like what TL have drafted. I think that something that really stands up for me, and again, it comes back to these supports. I think that both had significant impact in the previous game, but something you mentioned, Kobe, is just that when you think of CoreJJ, this is one of his champions. We talk a lot about APA and his pool, we talk about impact and him having the K'Sante, but CoreJJ, I feel like when he is on a champion where he gets to decide how the game is played, he's able to have monumental impact on the outcome for TL.
100% there, Vedius, hitting the nail on the head. CoreJJ is the in-game leader of this team. Such a big voice. When he is on engaged champions, they do look their best.
And we heard it. LCK Secret Boardroom, Umti came on. Thank you for the English titles. Subtitles LCK Global, and he's like, no, my entire job in most games is to free CoreJJ up so he can roam. And it bucked the trend in that first game, right? It's not like that's the only style they play. But he said very openly, CoreJJ is the man. I am here to get him out, to get him on the map, to make sure that he can do what he needs to do to generate these leads.
He's sitting up in his chair. I think that's a good sign for us. I see some readies in chat. I think that is a very good sign for us. Queuing up this game. Game number 2, TL coming out, getting number 1 of the series. Here we go. Can Fnatic turn it around in game number 2?
The GL HFs have hit the all chat. We're getting ready for game 2. I'm hoping for more games. I don't want to see a 3-0, mainly because I'm an EU fan. But also because I'd love some good...
No, you're a fan of a close series. You're a fan of a close series. Don't tell them, Ben.
Also,
don't tell them.
After the last few series, I've really gotten accustomed to these banger,
True,
going full 5. The beginning 3-0s that we got, I think we're done with those. On to the land of Silver Scrapes and the full 5 games. Noah starts out with some first strike money.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Money in the bank.
Why does it still say 0-0? But it's blue now.
You gotta understand, it's less than 100 golds. They're not allowed to put it on.
Bigger question,
but
why are all the others red?
Yeah, they turned it blue. By default, yeah, TL gets to start out with the lane differentials. Okay.
All right, so let's have a look, see if there's any early shenanigans. Jungle pathing is something we always like to keep our eyes on as Humanoid drops the ward.
Interestingly, goes for Yeon, and we're also going to see lethal tempo. So wanting to be that mid to late game damage source in an extended team fight, not opting for the lethality that so many teams do prioritize to get mid prio, to allow you to play more through your side lanes. Yeon taking that carry mantle on his shoulders up against Noah and Jun. While we do expect the bot lane matchup to be difficult, at least in the first few levels, Core and Yeon can make a lot of aggressive plays.
All right, we get our Raptor ward for our handy-dandy vision on enemy jungle, especially important here in the Lee Sin matchup. They are going to see that he starts red side, so they should be tracking timers there down on the bottom side of the map.
Meanwhile, on the top side, Oscar, power the Poppy level 1. A little bit more impactful in those early trades. Obviously won't have the sustain of the Zac, but can still be a big threat and offer a lot of reliable team fight utility.
Yeah, Poppy is really good. Obviously, the W everyone focuses on, stopping dashes. But the buff with the percent max health damage on the Q really did a lot for a lot of those tank matchups that he goes into, and that's why a lot of people really have come to like it in the K'Sante matchup, even though people don't really like giving up K'Sante in the first place. It is, 10-1, I believe, so far in the bracket stage. 11 now, thank you, Impact. 11-1 in the bracket stage.
Nice engage, though. Aggressive look on the bottom side coming for Core. He gets the cleanse out from Noah. Ignite going down as well.
I don't know if I love that from Core. Commits all of his summoner spells to try and get an advantage, but he does it into a massive minion wave. He ends up coming up short as well. We see both junglers pathing towards bot. I wonder if Razork is... Oh, cannon minion lost there for Humanoid. APA going to be feeling good about that one. But yeah, I'm wondering now if Razork is eyeing up that bot lane and saying, hey, there's a potential play here with no summoners on core and a ghost already expended from Yon.
I think in a perfect world, when you're in a range matchup like this and you have the Hex Flash, you get a flash out from support enemy AD. It sets up for such a simple follow-up gang from the jungler. But when you only get the cleanse from Lucian, that's going to sting for the next few minutes. You're already not favored in the 2v2. The sustain of Nami obviously very heavily buffed. The big reason we're seeing this duo kind of come back or at least remain dominant. So the extended lane going to be tricky for TL to weather the storm. I
think the big thing as well with the recall there for Noah, going back just getting a longsword, is that this definitely going to be bottom side Scuttle Crab picked up here for Umpty, and he'll have first position in the river here. Does he get to the brush?
Noah. Slows going down. Nice sidestep on the dash coming in from Core. Razork looking for the 1v1 versus Umpty. Umpty waiting for the 3-talon strike to expire. Good poke onto Yon. Yon forced to flash. Noah immediate follow-up. Can't quite finish the kill. Nice bit of CC coming through from Core. Arrow fired back. But Fnatic overall heavily favored in the trade.
Yeah, getting that flash off of the Varus is critical here. And Razork's not done. Going to delay some recalls as well.
Just being a pain for Team Liquid as they're forced to go back to base. Jud even committed the heal. I think the logic was, oh, if I give a bit of movement speed to Noah, he can maybe get in to actually land that last auto attack. Regardless, though, all summoners now gone for the bot side of the map. APA with great pressure in mid lane. Small advantage over Humanoid, but he's trying to keep him underneath his tower for now.
Yeah, definitely a better start this game, though, for Razork, for jungle pressure here. Zin's out, very good in those duels. Just charges right in, runs through Umpty. Able to get the first cooldown victory.
Keep your eyes on the top crab here. Umpty's going to secure it as he makes his way back out onto the map. Good vision drop from him as well. I don't think that they... Well, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they went out on that top skirmish, especially given Impact's HP and mana.
The upfront burst damage of the Poppy, lethal. Obviously, we saw yesterday Mickey playing it in support as well as Broken Blade playing at top lane. The early base damage, tough to handle, tough to deal with. Dragon is spawning on the bottom side. TL trying to fight back. Get a bit more pressure here.
Nice awareness from Razork being able to steal away those Raptors.
Nice flash, double engage, double stun. Yun untouched off to the side. The bubble will connect, but Noah's just doing a little bit more damage for now. Arrow not going to hit, and that's big. Noah now free to fire back at least a little bit. Core blinking health bar, but we'll walk away for now. Needs to keep backing up, remounting.
I mean, they get the flash out from Noah. He didn't have his cleanse available to get rid of the Ignite. If he had, that could have been a devastating trade for TL, but ultimately they still went out. They get the Summoner.
It's like Jan's poking around still here, too, on the Varus. This wave is going to push back towards them, so he doesn't need to extend into the lane and open himself up to a pressure from Fnatic trying to blow his ghost or anything.
APA getting pressure in the mid lane is going to use that to roam down and at least poke his head into enemy jungle. Pop the Scryer's Bloom. Can always look to roam bottom lane. Need to see this duo kind of start to take over the map, especially on the level 6 point for Lee Sin.
I mean, Fnatic, I think, are going to be thinking about trying to push this wave out, get a reset, and then start looking towards those grubs. But as I say that, Razork is still hovering around. Maybe he just wants to escort this wave underneath the tower, make sure they can get their recall off, and that's what it looks like. Something that we've been seeing more of from teams is securing those early grubs, because now you only need 4 to get the value out of the extra little mini grubs when sieging against the mites. That's the word I'm looking for. And again, we look at the minimap, you can see Razork making a beeline towards the top side of the map. Let's see if Jun chooses to follow him, or whether instead they'll go back towards the bot lane.
Really, though, you can invent any name you want for those things. I think people are very accepting of...
yeah, whatever.
The mites, the voidlings.
The little guys.
The Kevins.
The beans.
The beans, the jumping beans. Razork, though, going to go on up towards those with Humanoid, and should be able to secure those first 3 in trade for the dragon that we're talking about.
Solid start from Fnatic. Good use of the mid prior that they have. APA going to be first on the wave, but Jun already resetting and coming mid, ready to counter any response that could come through. So just the Might for Dragon trade in the end, as Noah gets a bit of free time to farm on the bottom side. And despite a lot of the trades looking kind of Fnatic favored early on in the bottom lane, it's only 100 gold difference with Noah packing first strike. So TL weathering the storm pretty well.
APA, he's setting his sights on a bot lane play. They're trying to catch Jun on the rotation, but he's respecting it. He's cautious. He knows the APA is missing, and he knows that the dragon was just secured. He's not going to fall for any traps. Good awareness from TL, but not going to pan out.
Yeah, this Team Liquid composition really revolves around getting picks. Whenever you go for the Ahri Lee Sin combination, you need to take advantage of the mobility of these champions and actually find some mid-game picks. So first step in doing that is always setting up some deeper vision through the jungle, and especially between the mid lane and bottom lane are the kind of the highways here on Summoner's Rift, because nobody really wants to visit topside. All of the rewards are down around ganking those bottom sides and invading the jungle.
Oscar with a 20 CS lead. I mean, we know that this matchup is favored for Poppy, but I'm always surprised by how well it actually ends up doing in the matchup. Culling from Noah.
Good bit of poke. Zoning Yawn off at least one creep, as well as just taking a big chunk of the health bar. Obviously, 3 grubs picked up earlier makes it that much faster for Noah and Jun to grab plates when they do have pressure. Nice recall cancel from Humanoid.
Man, and Razork, yeah, taking away another camp here. Does he actually finish these off? Looks like he is. Fnatic have to be so happy with the beginning of this game. They've got the Xin Zhao, the Azir scaling up quite nicely. They're building up a really big wave here in the face of
Is
Impact.
there risk of a dive here?
-1 cannon.
Q3 ready to go. Wind becomes lightning, waiting for the Q3 to expire. It looks like pullback doesn't connect. Unstoppable coming in, grounded, not gonna have the angle to push back. There's Humanoid and its first blood coming in for Fnatic.
Really good patience from them. Oscar just waits for it. Impact, as soon as he pops his W, immediately they get him against the wall. They take him down. Fnatic with a successful play on top side. And Team Liquid trying to answer bottom. They should have APA on the way as well after pushing the wave.
Oh, but that's not a good trade for Umti. Gonna walk into the face of Noah. Doesn't have the culling to clear out the wave, but you can see Razor sprinting towards the bot lane.
Yeah, that trade was you just got shot in the face for nothing, and he traded him nothing.
Hey, he's gonna get the red buff. It's not all doom and gloom.
It was like a 400 HP for 0 HP and some first strike money as well.
It's like I'm getting data in a game of Valorant. Guys, I know where he is now.
Oh, he's not gonna get the red buff, Cody.
Oh, man. Umti just got kicked, right, in the last, like, 30 seconds here. Pushed out of bottom, doesn't get the red buff either, as Razork was able to reset.
All right, APA just trying to harass, make sure they can protect the vision that they do have.
Razor stealing away some of that camp, gets 16 gold.
Right.
But we look back at this dive, and it's very clean from Fnatic. They know it's coming. There's not much that they can do about it, though. Even if he tries to retreat, he's still going to get dived. So his main game plan here is to get as much farm as possible. And the patience, Kobe mentioned it, they wait for the third proc of the Tofos, then they interrupt the dash, they knock him into the tower, and he doesn't even get to move. Just very well played from Fnatic.
Yep, very, very well played. Seems like they're calming down after that first game.
Charm connects, Q follow-up, kick back, a little bit too far away, but the flash forward is going to make sure that Umti can connect.
Oh, I mean, that's the pick that we were setting up before, you know, the Lee Sin Ahri. They do use a lot to do it, though. That was flash and kick and Ahri ultimate. See what they can do with the jungle advantage now after getting that kill. Razork, though, of course, he did save his flash there, kind of accepting death when you get caught like that.
Holds on to it for the next fight, but honestly, right now, TL...
Wow, Oscar's really feeling it, eh? Gonna get knocked back.
Pullback is good. Ulti going from Impact. He's going all out, but he's much squishier, and Oscar is just happy to take the trade.
Oscar would love to get his passive back up. Impact gonna pop the
They get called jungle, too. Impact is in a tough spot here.
I don't know. Is it worth it, though? I feel like the grubs is just an easier secure. You don't have information on where Umti is, but with the pressure you have in top, even if Impact tries to collapse with no ulti, it's a guaranteed objective. You're going to get 6 grubs, and I think that this is the smarter play. Just use the pressure that you have in top lane, the push that you have in mid to be able to secure another objective. You can maybe even look to contest dragon spawning in 30 seconds. Depends whether or not Razork wants to try and get a base off before that fight.
TP back to the top lane coming in from Impact. Wants to get a bit of pressure here. Is going to force the respawn out from Oscar, so neither top lane likely to participate in the dragon skirmish. Core and Jan trying to hold on. Immediate ulti. Umpty on the way down, but it's double TPs. Everybody's coming bot. Core now needs to retreat. Nice knockup coming in from Jun. Humanoid push back on APA, timing the ultimate, but now he has to retreat. It's a man advantage for the side of TL. Sonic Wave won't connect. Both sides just going to back away.
Great response from both mid laners as they try to get involved in the fight, but crucially, Umpty is here to cover. Humanoid is forced to flash away, and TL continue their siege. Razork pushes out mid, and let's see what he can do here. He might get caught once again.
Razork not gonna. The Sonic Wave. Dashing from Umpty. Gets the initial slow. No flash because of the previous play. Cannot kick flash Razork back into APA.
Are they overextending?
But bottom side also got chased up through the river there. So we see the push out. Fnatic getting a couple of extra waves there. You mentioned the one in mid lane. Now they're pushing on bottom side with Humanoid still here.
They want to contest this dragon. As we already mentioned earlier, no TPs available for top laners. They're looking for a pick on the Razork.
As a Sonic Wave, waiting as long as possible. Dash back is clean from Umpty, but the follow-up damage isn't quite there. And Razork now realizes he has the isolated 1v1. Sonic Wave going in. Noah's here to try and punish APA. One more dash to get out over the wall, but just the 1-for-1 overall. No junglers going to be around for that dragon fight.
Yeah, both junglers down, so I think they are going to avoid the objective and just focus on pushing the wave. Bottom side will get pushed in the aftermath there.
Crazy back and forth. Umpty and APA doing what they can as a bit of a fight in top lane.
Knock back to the wall. Oscar forced to flash away. Over eager, but remember, now that he has the Sundered Sky, you can see the healing
His health is back
ridiculous.
up.
I mean, well, Oscar also, he's going to get this whole tower. Those Void Grubs are doing so much work here. Oscar himself on this Poppy counter has a 1.3k gold lead in top lane. What an answer to Cassante. Everyone's been complaining about this champion so much. Oscar is really the hero of chat, the hero of the people.
Trying to be, at least. We'll see if Cassante has anything to say about that. Oscar, Sunder Sky cooldown about to come back up, only a couple of seconds, going for the knockback, but Impact still unstoppable. Good reactions. Has the Ghost, wants to keep going. The healing coming from Poppy is solid, but it looks like Cassante might just be stronger.
Shield.
Nice predict, though. Impact trying to cover the shield. He's trying to get a bit more space. Another heal! Sundered Sky, baby! Sundering the dreams of Impact.
Look at Oscar's face. He was trying his best to buy time. Impact using the third and Tofo strike to try and get the knockup, predicting Oscar would go towards the shield. He was forced down into the river, and then Razor comes to save the day.
All right, chat, now you have to create a copy pasta for Poppy. Now you've got to create one for Poppy. That was...
Poppy, Sundered Sky, 400 healing, 5 million armor, a shield.
No dashes, cancel circle.
Yeah.
Look, I like the Sundered Sky adaptation. A lot of people going quickly and tank items in this matchup, but that healing's been big. Fnatic, though, seeing Umpty and Core on the flank, they're going to try to shred through the tower and fight on more favorable terms. Humanoid dashing in, the tower getting placed down by his passive. Crucial to stop the flank coming in from TL.
Nice play there from Fnatic. They realized the collapse was coming through. They focused down the tower and they said, hey, Humanoid, you've got your passive, throw that up. And now look at the lane assignments. Poppy been sent down to bot. They're going to send Humanoid up towards top. But that's 2 out of towers secured. Surprisingly, they put Oscar Rin on the kind of weak side. I guess they can use their pressure in mid to then translate the pressure towards bot. But with Dragon spawning, well, 4 minutes, it's still a ways away. Both these teams are now going to be in a bit of a neutral state as they look to work towards their second major items.
Yeah, and I kind of come back to the beginning of the game where we're talking about the difference in comps this time around. Fnatic are in such a great, well, Humanoid might get caught here.
They were in a great spot.
No
Humanoid
flash.
staying for a wave too long as Razork recalls. It's going to cost him. Q flash coming in, or R flash, excuse me, from Umpty. Dragon's Rage into the immediate follow-up.
Fnatic, they scale so freaking well, especially with the team fighting possibilities there. 2,000, over 2,000 the gold lead in top lane as well. But Team Liquid, they focus so much on these picks here. Unfortunately for them, there's no real big like Baron or something to take after some a side lane pick like that right now. Still very early into the game, and so it's just going to be kind of turret pressure traded.
I mean, well played from TL. Humanoid greeted for an extra wave. He was hoping that he could push one out before getting his recall off. Ends up getting punished for it, and now the cross map is happening. Both top laners, well, I say top laners, both teams, I should say, trading these out of towers is Noah.
Vaughn. Bubble connects. Noah dashes in.
Ooh.
Arrow's going to go wide. Chain of Corruption won't connect. That's the ulti down. Razork now re-engaging on Core to try to start the fight. Everyone's out of the circle. Flash out from Core. Both sides just scrapping, but Humanoid wants to keep it going. Jan forced to flash back to safety. Calling now getting body blocked by APA. Humanoid still walking up. So much damage unleashed by Noah. And TL forced to retreat.
Yeah, let's see. Can Fnatic do anything with it? They do have bottom side pushed up, but that's about it. So Noah sticks around. He's going to get one more wave here.
I mean, the crucial advantage is that Dragon spawns in 2 minutes and Yon has no summoners. Humanoid only had to commit the TP there, which he gets back to mid lane. Now he can translate towards top 2. is going to be looking for something. I don't know if he wins this, though.
Yeah, he only has Sundered Sky right now. Might need another...
Oh, but here comes APA. As long as he can stay in the fog.
This is the long con.
Yep, they can punish Humanoid here. It's a matter of whether he respects it. He has to recognize that he's isolated on the map, and everyone is missing. Look at the minimap. No one is spotted. He has to realize that this is... Yeah,
okay.
Okay, cool. He knows that this is way too suspicious.
Every Fnatic fan is like, wait, we've seen this movie before.
the pleading in Vedius's voice.
It's the classic solo queue thing where you see a guy go for a top wave and I'm like, I see on the minimap, no one is visible. Bro,
it's also the classic Humanoid thing. You get absolute cinema or straight to DVD. There is no in between, right? In this case, made the one mistake on a side lane. Of course, I think that's the thing we were talking about with Fnatic in Game 1, was that we want to see them be more tempered, be more disciplined. I think they have done a good job of that so far in this game, even if they've been caught out once or twice. But TL, yes, they're at a 4K gold deficit. They've already stacked 2 Drakes. They have the on-hit bars as we get later into the game, and Fnatic have to still play this one out carefully. Can't afford to overcommit, as APA may have overcommitted himself. Razork going to force the ulti out at least. When becomes lightning will not connect.
Another advantage gain, though, ahead of the Dragon. 50 seconds. Fnatic obviously overcommitting on the top side, but they can use this Herald and then translate this pressure towards mid. Look, they brought Poppy into the mid lane to catch this wave. TL is kind of overcompensating, trying to match this pressure top.
I think this is a good play from Fnatic. Just hard force with the Rift Herald up here before Dragon spawning.
That is a lot of might spawning.
I see them now transition this pressure back towards mid. I feel like there's a big opportunity here for them to just take down this mid tower, but they're committed towards that top. They want to keep this pressure on the top side. Oscar underneath the tower.
Doesn't quite get the angle to get the stun, crucially. Tidal Wave now going in just to try to zone TL away so they can knock down the tower. Razor continuing to walk up. Third talent strike onto Yon, and now the Culling coming in. No one's there to body block, and down goes the Varus. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's the 1v1, but no, it's not. Here comes Impact, looking for a bit of revenge after the laning phase, but it's Razor behind and Umpty's got nowhere left to go. A bit extra healing from the Thunder Sky might keep him alive for a brief second, but Oscar with the buckler, taking him down a notch.
It's Giga Poppy! Oscar is king in this game. You gotta send like all 5 people after him if you're gonna go for it. Fnatic though, back to their original play of hard forcing on that top tower with the Rift Herald. The Nami wave in the fog of war from the side from Jun. Look at this. Beautiful stuff from him. They had already taken APA's ult out, so Razork knows he can go for the dive here, and he gets that knockup onto Yon.
They know that he has no summoners. We talked about how it's going to be a problem in the upcoming Dragon fight, but instead they punish it in top lane. I thought that Fnatic was being over-aggressive, but the fact that TL kind of divided their resources, kept Impact bot, they had in mid and only 3 members defending top, meant that there was nothing really for them to cross-map, and ultimately they lost so much. 2 towers, they lost a bunch of kills, and they're going to lose, well, they're likely to lose the Dragon as well.
3.3k Poppy lead. That's a whole item.
I'm with you, but Poppy wasn't even in the topside fight that they won, Kobe.
He was in a 2v1 in mid.
Poppy hasn't even participated in the team play portion of the game.
Poppy means you're not going to be able to win a team fight.
I'm inclined to agree.
I just love the idea that in that mid fight when and Impact had come, he knocks away and goes, "Wait your turn, sir." It turns his attention to Impact. Yeah.
One at a time, please.
Poppy also, I feel like was so cool of a pick from Mickey in the G2 series. Obviously, you know, the beginning of that game number 5, he was absolutely popping off. Does seem to be an EU power pick at the moment here at MSI.
We do like exceptionally obnoxious champions. Speaking of, there goes Humanoid. He's going to connect on the APA, but the dash back, and Humanoid overcommits. Yon quick to pop him and punish. Without Oscar there, their lead isn't actually that big, but going to be the trade back. Jungler traded for mid laner, but overall...
Baron is the question. With no jungler, I feel like that Fnatic do have a pretty strong Baron take, but it looks like they're not going to take the gamble, the 1-for-1. Again, though, Humanoid committing his flash to try and punish Yon. Both summoners gone once again. The Varus going to be in some serious danger as we approach the next fight.
Yeah, I think if Fnatic want to actually press their lead, they need to be pretty calm with how they set up these team fights, because if you set it up front to back with that Giga Poppy on the front line, and Azir hitting from back, then it's going to look quite good. Team Liquid, they are the ones looking for the scrappy, like, pick isolated plays. Humanoid goes right in, and Jan is able to flash it this time around, and so they get that pop that you're talking about. But Umpty as well, into the back line, is going to be the sacrifice.
I will say that I think Umpty can still be pretty happy that they got Noah's flash, because truthfully, Noah didn't need to flash that. Even if he got kicked, I don't think he was in any real danger, given that Humanoid was the focus from TL's backside. So the fact that they traded AD carry flashes, considering that was an engage from Humanoid, ultimately not the end of the world for TL, considering they also got a kill off the back of it. Ends up being 1-for-1. Fnatic still in a commanding lead right now. Dragon 3 minutes away. Baron is available. Top wave being pushed in. Well, as long with bot wave, Fnatic forced to catch these waves right now.
And Team Liquid, I mean, APA's Ahri right now is kind of their hope. He's got the Malignance plus the Lich Bane. The Malignance makes your ultimate such a low cooldown. You just have to keep on trying to look for picks, go camp in brush, look for these burst plays with that Lich Bane, try and pick someone off, and then turn that into an objective to try and get TL some footing back into the game. And so you see the importance of these control wards here for TL. They just plant them down and then sit on them and hope for a good opportunity.
Praying to find that angle. Oscar moving up from the bottom side of the map. He does not have access to his TP for the fight to come. Both up and available for the side of TL, perhaps an avenue of attack. Oscar's not in the fight. It's so much harder for Fnatic to protect their backline. So much easier for someone like Jan, even without a flash, to stay alive. His ghost will be up shortly. But Oscar just keeping that pressure point on the bottom side. Again, we saw utility Poppy, split push Poppy.
Now I'm saying murder Poppy.
Murder Poppy, yes. I wish he played Lolly Poppy skin just so it was as horrific as possible, but instead, you know, little Christmas vibes. He's giving him a present.
I, for one, hope that Fnatic don't use their Giga frontline. You know, there's a lot of times where Azir players are like, oh, never mind, we're going to have some sketchy stuff going on.
Core in trouble here. Walking into the entire team, but he's trying to turn it back into an engage. Umpty gonna connect on the Sonic Wave on a no. He's got no flash from the previous play, and that's the pick you were waiting for. Impact is here first. Oscar sprinting from the bottom side of the map, but Murder Poppy's not here. And it's not gonna be a lot of time for Murder left. TL on the chase, Sonic Wave not connecting. Two members knocked down.
Baron?
Fnatic bot lane deleted. TL starting the Baron. The on-hit bars will shred the objective, but
Poppy.
Oscar, the top side of Fnatic, so powerful. Can they find a way into the pit? Jan still with ulti available.
In, Dracos. Nothing can stop this Poppy.
They're trying to shred through. Core waiting over the wall. The knockback is big under the AD carry. They can't really afford to go for the Baron. Interrupt coming in from Oscar, and they're shredding through Impact's health bar. Humanoid thinks he's waiting in the darkness, but he's spotted on vision. Now trying to dash into Jan, and he'll finish the kill. Hex slash from Core just into the brush to try and hide. The top side of Fnatic is too damn strong.
The value of the Azir is in the extended fights. He has the DPS required. Really nice ultimate from Oscar to just kick out the front line from the fight. Core JJ couldn't really find another angle for an engage, and even though the bot lane falls, Fnatic come out on top.
Yeah, Team Liquid, they go for it though. Core JJ knows they have to get picks if they want an opening into this game, and they do just that. APA, look at that follow-up. The ultimate plus flash on Ahri to combine for the kill, and then chaining too. The reason TL force on the Baron after this is they know they're going to get out-comped later on. But Giga Poppy is here, the front line for the Azir. Those two are going to do a lot of work here. You see Poppy ult one out, and then the W lasts so long, it's longer than the Cassante one, so then they can kill Impact there. And once that front line is gone, Humanoid says goodbye to the back line.
And this is the struggle, right? You talk about outscaling. In the time it's going to take Jan, even on probably 3 or 4 items to kill the Poppy, Humanoid will have killed him 10 times. The Azir damage getting more and more powerful. He's crested the 3-item point now, has Leandries and magic penetration. So Impact isn't even that tanky as we approach later and later fights.
Yeah, that's what the topic we were discussing earlier. Sometimes when an Azir has a really good front line, they still feel the need to go in for like Azir sex, as we saw in the mid lane play. And you're just like, calm down. Like you don't have to be the engage.
No, you gotta. There's 1 to 2 item brain and then 2 item onward brain.
Sit back and hit stuff.
Yes.
When they designed it, it was supposed to push people away.
Yep. They didn't expect the mechanics. It's going to push people in. Speaking of, Oscar about to push them into the wall, knocking back the rest of the team. Good ulti from the Varus, but Core's about to get taken down. Noah shredding through that health bar. Inhibitor about to drop. Umpty praying for the flank here. Impact effectively no HP in the fight to come.
I mean, this feels like this is Fnatic's game to lose.
Dash in.
Oh.
APA gone in the blink of an eye. Noah going to finish the job, but it's the knockback from Oscar that seals the deal. Razork zoning away Umpty. Umpty going to try to go for the kickback. Yon still standing, but Fnatic are just too damn powerful. Humanoid takes out the 80 carry in the meantime. Impact going to get knocked down. Fnatic striking back in game 2 to tie up the series.
They'll respond with an ace. 26.5 minutes. The start of the show, Oscar's Poppy. I mean, we look back to game 1, Umpty and Impact were immovable objects that Fnatic could not get past. This time around, it was the Giga Poppy that was running amok all across the map. And now you have to question, what is this top lane dynamic going to look like in the rest of this series?
Well, we were kind of all in on the Cassante is going to be super broken train for either side, and it was true in game 1, absolutely. But game 2, Fnatic have found an answer, and that's a bit concerning for TO.
I saw there was someone on Twitter who was tweeting out Cassante counters and had Poppy and S tier. I blame that person. It's got to be social media, right?
Stop telling pros things. They'll play the same stuff unless you tell them about new stuff.
I'm really excited to see this Poppy copy pasta, personally.
Yeah, no, me too. We submitted our request very early to chat, so I'm sure they'll deliver us something very spicy there. But Fnatic really responding in a much more calm and structured team fight this time around, and many more scaling options.